Hey guys, Shawn here from the Ollin group of coaches. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. Motivation Monday, if you want to call it that. Here we are. I'm back again, hoping to keep this as a regular occurrence. So we're see a little bit more consistency, answer some questions, give some some strategies, some methodologies, some you know so, some concepts and ways to create real breakthrough, real change in your business and in your life, in your relationships, wherever you want that help. Yeah, it won't take too much of your time, but if you're on here live, I'd love to hear from you periodically. You can ask a question, you can give a thumbs up, whatever you like. If you're watching recording, you can do the same thing. I'll be sure to get back to you, answer any questions, and so forth. If you're watching on YouTube, same thing there. So, reflect on the last couple of days here, and different things have been going on. And 2 days ago, so Saturday, this is Monday, so Saturday, my some of you know, some of you won't know, but for a long time I was a Muay Thai kickboxing instructor, fighter, etc., etc. I ran a professional school for many years. Anyway, it's been a long time since I did that as a profession, but I'm still training. I've always been a martial artist, always will be. And my two boys especially have really taken to training with me as well. My oldest is 19. My middle boy, my middle child, is 17. And my 17-year-old actually had his first Muay Thai bout, his first Muay Thai match back in September, and he did fantastic. He won that match. And he's training for his second fight right now, and that's coming up in 3 weeks. So anyway, we're doing a lot of really heavy Muay Thai training. We're talking 6 days a week, a couple hours a day, so some pretty intensive stuff. And in the schedule, what we call the fight camp, so it's like a 6 week period before the fight. We're kind of in that really heavy training phase, the heavy sparring days, a lot of contact, very, very demanding, a lot of rounds go into it, and where you really, physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, is very, very taxing. Um, and to get into the ring, really, really demands a lot of the individual. It's very, very tough to do, very rewarding, but one of the most tiring experiences you can imagine. So there's a lot that goes into it. And Muay Thai, for those who don't know, is a full contact martial art. So full contact, kickboxing, punches, knees, kicks, elbows. There's a lot of honor, a lot of tradition that goes with it as well. Anyway, so we're in there Saturday. We're doing a really, probably the hardest training day so far. All three, me and my two boys and a couple other people that were in there. But me and my two boys, I was really pushing us to kind of to see what was possible, really bring out the best in my middle boy that's actually training for the fight. He had to do more than both my older son and myself. And it ended up last several rounds, what we call Shark Tank, or basically work till you puke kind of drills, right? Really, really intensive. Anyway, at that point, so it's probably about a half dozen, maybe upwards of a dozen people left in the gym, and some were helping us, some were doing their own thing. But every round, this kid, literally, I pushed him to the point where he, a lot of people would break under that pressure. He was just really giving it, and you could see how exhausted he was. And full contact sparring into some pad work drills, all these different things that we work on. Anyway, there was so many times where at that point he, being that tired, he was being knocked down, he was being shoved around. Would have been really, really easy to give up, or easy to give in to being that tired and just kind of do what you could. But what was really cool, what was really, really amazing, was this kid reached inside, really, really deep inside. And I'm obviously very proud of him for this. And he pulled out kind of that inner strength, that wellspring of strength that we can all call on, but very few people do. And he rose to the occasion. He got back up and he gave it every ounce he had, every punch, every kick, every knee, every elbow, every little piece. And he stood up to, again, there's about 3 or 4 of us working around him and challenging him in different ways. And the last few rounds, every single round, he had everybody in the gym cheering for him. It was so amazing to watch this maximum effort, because everybody could see how hard it was and how demanding it was. But here he was just pulling out this incredible strength and determination. It goes way beyond willpower. It's like this deep inner strength. And he did an amazing job, in Muay Thai. So a lot of for those who don't know, Thailand is a very Buddhist country, and a lot of Muay Thai schools are infused with this Buddhist philosophy. And part of how that's translated in the training is a term called cool heart. And the idea that no matter how much pain, no matter how tired you are or how scared you are, you actually don't show it, but instead just stay so present. You just stay, you don't let those emotions or those physical pains get to you in any way. And that's exactly what my son did. And so that's what I wanted to talk about here. Peak performance. So, people come to me for a couple of reasons, either to overcome certain areas like procrastination or depression or anxiety, or to achieve certain things like a financial goal, so doubling or tripling their income, let's say, or a relationship goal, so to improve or ignite that spark of passion in their relationships. But we could say that overcoming things and peak performance they go hand in hand. And it really comes down to not so much what you're doing, not the physical activity, but being able to pull out something from deep down inside you that, welcome Whitney. I just noticed that you were there too. I'm really glad to have you on here. It's been a while. So thanks for joining us. Anyway, reach down deep down inside and pull out something that, well, for the most part, you never even knew was there. And that's what my son did the other day. And it inspired me, it inspired everybody watching. We're talking, he's 17 years old. We're talking adults that are, in their 30s and 40s watching and saying, "Holy shit, this is amazing. This is so cool to be part of, to support, to be witness to, and to be inspired by." The people that are really truly successful in life, the people that are really fulfilled, are the ones that can do that can consistently pull out the very best in them. Not just the very best, but that spark of, what do you even call it? A spark of divine, that spark of passion, that spark of, it's beyond words, beyond description. I like to say to people when they first start working with me, so my title, for those who don't know, is a strategic interventionist. So I say to people, I'm here to intervene between you and yourself and help you pull out things you never even knew were there. So that's what this is all about. And so last week I talked about avoidance and procrastination. And you could take that, or you could take a goal that you have, or you could, a relationship struggle, or, some problem you have anyway. Let's make it easy. We'll think of a problem. I want you to think of any problem or any area where you could just do better. Let's say maybe it's going well, but you know that you could do better. You know that you're capable of more. You know that you're called to more. So I got a couple of questions for you. That's how we're going to wrap it up for today. When you look at successful people in life, one thing that really differentiates them. Now, I mean successful, I mean people who are really truly fulfilled as well. Not just hitting goals, because you can hit goals and then it can be shallow. You can still feel unfulfilled and struggle with anxiety and whatnot. But I mean people who are successful and fulfilled at the deepest level. One of the things they do differently to get themselves to that, to operate at their maximum, doesn't mean they're always happy, doesn't mean they're always energized. That's not what it is. It's just that they can consistently perform at their very best. Even on a bad day, it's still going to be the best for that day. And one of the things that separates them is the quality of questions that they ask themselves. Most people ask, really shitty questions. They'll say things like, oh, why is this happening to me? Oh, what can I do? And then they'll go into, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. Oh, poor me, etc. Whatever that story is. Oh, I'm stuck. How do I get this? What do I do? The people who are truly successful ask much higher quality questions. And so what I want to do right now is actually pose a couple questions to you, for anybody watching. So for Whitney on here, anybody else is on here that's not showing up, sometimes that happens. Anybody watching this after the fact on Facebook or on YouTube or on LinkedIn, wherever you're watching it. So the first question, like I said, pull up, when you think of a problem that you have or an area where you're not performing at the level that you'd like. It could be positive, but you're capable of more, you're called to more, whatever that is. Or you have a problem area, something's holding you back. So think of that problem. And I can ask you a couple questions here. If you know the answer, you can type into the chat box. You want it to be an intuitive answer, but also don't answer too quickly necessarily, unless you really, really know. Take the time to contemplate it as well. Let it roll over in your mind a little bit too. So the first question is, how are you benefiting from having this problem or from not performing at your peak? How are you benefiting from that? And people say to me, well, no, there is no benefit, but I guarantee you there is, because otherwise you wouldn't have that problem or you'd be performing at a higher level. So there's some sort of benefit, some sort of hidden benefit, unconscious benefit, something. So how are you benefiting? And I would give you some examples here. Some ways that you can answer that, but I'm not sure that I want to give it away just yet. So ask yourself, how am I benefiting from having this problem? You can also ask, how are other people benefiting around me? How am I benefiting from having this problem? The second question, what is this problem costing me and other people around me? Sometimes we can do things, make changes for ourselves, create breakthroughs and transformation for ourselves. Ultimately, that's what we need to do. But sometimes people are more motivated by doing that for other people, and then they in turn benefit. Whichever way you need to start is fine. So what is this problem costing me and people around me, people close to me? That's the second question. And again, if I'm going too fast, or if you have a question or some feedback about what I'm sharing, please feel free to type into the comments. Third question. How do I want to phrase this? If this problem disappeared, what would happen next? What would be next for me? So if this problem disappeared, what would be next? And how would I feel? It's kind of a two-part question. What would be next? How would I feel? Last question. How, in this area, this particular area of my life, so if it's a problem or an area that you're just not showing up fully, not operating at a level that you'd like, how can I raise my personal standard in this area? What can I be determined, what will I be determined to do in this area? So how can I raise my personal standard when it comes to this particular problem or this particular area? Hope you guys are with me on that pretty quick. Kind of went through that fairly quickly. But again, first question, how do I benefit from this problem? What does it cost me? What would happen if I solved it? And finally, how can I raise my personal standard? I would love to hear from you guys. Again, right into the chat box. If you're watching it on YouTube or LinkedIn, same thing. Just feel free to answer. Please feel free to share, not only for my benefit but also for you. It holds you accountable to a certain degree. But more than that, you can even inspire other people that are watching, that are listening, that are maybe a little shy to comment or whatever. Sometimes it helps to know that other people are going through the same kinds of things. So please feel free, if you're watching it live, if you're watching the replay, comment in the section, answer those questions, even if it's just kind of generalized answers that kind of point to what you're dealing with. but I'd love to hear from you guys. So with that, I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Hopefully I'll be on here. Just all depends on scheduling. But next time around anyway for the Monday Motivation. And I would love to, and again, I'm going to try to make that as consistent as I possibly can for you. Love to hear from you in terms of the chat box. You can private message me if you want to go deeper into certain areas. And also check out the description. There's a couple things you can do in there if you haven't already. Anyway, this is Shawn Carpenter from the Ollin Group. Love having you guys here. Whitney, thank you so much for joining us. I love to hear how things are going for you, actually. With that, you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon.